right, guys, welcome back. You are in the final segment of Fantastic Fridays. So we're still in Talk the Ting with Kim, and we're discussing tips for interracial relationships. So we've gone through a few so far. We said don't date someone because you consider their race a fetish. So, you know, you have some people, I always want to date with a French man. They're so romantic.
Ooh la la.
And they have the man, them, the Spanish girl, them. Yeah. And them, I've heard men say, oh, she a cuss me just sexy.
Oh, my Spanish. Cuss me, baby. You know? Cuss me.
She a cuss me. I'm just so mad. That's what I thought. That's what I hear.
I know.
I don't know how they separate words because they talk so fast.
Yeah, but that's what them say.
But for them, they find it sexy. They're like, oh my god, you can cuss me every day. But don't date someone because they're a fetish.
Yeah, because it's gonna be the flip side for you.
Exactly, right? It has to be because you're into the person. Not saying those things can't work, but you're fine. If it's something you like. But like them for more than that. Right? That is the goal. And then also try to identify if you are someone's fetish. So you will probably have people, oh, I've never dated a black girl before, you know? Yeah, it happens. It happens. When I show a boy that we woke, so we're dating black girls, you know?
I've dated black before.
I have black friends.
Girlfriend. Yeah.
I have black friends.
She's not really black, but she's black.
Yeah, she's 0.5%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's mixed it in.
She's what?
Mixed it in.
I've actually heard that mixed it in.
But I think I've dated a white girl before. What do you call them? Caucasians?
The Caucasians.
So, but, alright. That's just like the one, we have like Dutch and what do you call, Middle Eastern.
different.
There's so, we can't keep a track of them.
There's a lot.
There's so many different
actually, and then the stereotypes that follow the countries as well. You have to be careful of that because I was watching another show and the guy was like, they even want to mention him country name because when people see them, they just think war. And he was from Persia and he's like, in the Middle East we're not angry sort of people, we're very peaceful and it's like you have to defend your culture.
And then we're in the Middle East as well, because just like how they say, that's Chinese, and then the man's like, no, I'm Korean.
Yeah, and you have that too.
And Korean have a different stigma. It's crazy.
It's a lot.
You're doing the eyes.
Yeah.
It's actually really crazy. Disrespectful.
It is. But in Jamaica we do it. Everybody are misogyn.
Yeah, it's really.
And everybody are coolie girl and coolie this and coolie that. It's very disrespectful.
I don't know. I don't think it don't make sense to try to keep a track.
It's not like people can say, we're prejudiced because we have our own black people, a black dad. Yeah. Whitey.
No, but it's still prejudice because it comes to play in other ways. But we want to see how, when it comes to relationship, how we can basically open our minds.
Well, we, on top of the whole fetish thing, we also said communication styles could be very different, so try to adjust. So let's say, for example, you're dating a man that's from a culture that men are very dominant and women don't have much rights. Can you imagine a Jamaican woman try to with him?
It's like Asian,
I don't see that working very well, right?
Asian African cultures.
Exactly. So we are very outspoken, we're very opinionated and whatever. And then let's say go there with a man from the Eastern, because most of the Eastern side of the world is like that. And then you're being told, your head has to be covered once you're around other men. If other men see it too, them can stone it to death.
You can't wear it around the homie.
Yeah. And I remember seeing once that even if they look through your window and see you in a regular marina or something, that can be cause for death. I say, I like this, but it's a reality. That's somebody's culture, and you have people who are trying these relationships with really differing cultures, right? So it's something to consider. Communication styles could be very different. Make a promise to communicate clearly and openly and without judgment. So as I say, if the man them not used to bid or the woman them not used to bid because of their background, don't judge them. Try to understand them. If you think you're not going to find a common ground and say, all right, listen, I need it to be more often for this to work, then you're not going to figure it out. And if the person really in it for you, they may compromise.
Yeah.
Right? Just don't try to change their culture. But those are the things I think could be worked on. That's a discussion
that's where you actually decide to see how much in love are we?
Exactly. If we can work
is it just a vibe?
Exactly.
I have sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Something to share. I'm not sure. There's a movie called Jungle Fever. I think if you guys haven't seen it, you guys should. Also to you, the viewers on the live and everybody listening, Jungle Fever. Wesley Snipes stars it, and he's a black man that started to date a Italian, a white lady, and it shows the problems that normally
diverse.
Comes along with it. So you guys can give it a watch. Persons who are considering going into an interracial relationship, you can check out Jungle Fever. Give it a watch, and then you can have an idea as to what you'll be in for.
Exactly.
Jungle Fever.
Something to consider. And as we said, respect each other's culture. So not because it's not how you were grown mean that it's not important, right? You may have some cultures that pray 7-6 times for the day, especially at the Eastern country. I know they have like the praying hour and stuff, and them have them prayer mat, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't judge them for that. Respect them culture. Exactly. Right? So these are things we need to talk about. And then this actually goes into tip number 6. Try to understand your partner's culture, but don't push it. So you have some people is that they're ready for transform.
True.
Them especially with Jamaicans, I've seen it. Hot one man, them try it hard with the hot one, and and all of a sudden listen nothing else other than Bob Marley because you're so much into Jamaican, so you try to show your partner, say, but there,
what you got everything. There? Smoking on the ganja.
Exactly, literally, that is how they are.
Yeah.
So you should try to understand your partner's culture, but that means they need to become their culture, right?
That will kind of give back the same fetish vibe, like
exactly.
Exoticness. You're not serious about this.
Yeah. So you should definitely make a conscious effort. Yeah, you should definitely make a conscious effort to try and understand your partner's culture, learn about their roots, their priorities, and what their life is like. You should actively ask questions and start conversations with your love about the different cultures you have. However, it's important that you don't push it. Don't force your way into trying to be a part of their culture, and don't talk about it 24/7. So all day, every day, you talk about, so how can I become Spanish? Teach me a Spanish word. Or you just use English? No more English. Spanish. I need to hear Spanish every day.
Oh, babe, what's the equivalent? What's the equivalent of my name in Spanish?
Exactly.
I'm no longer Michael. Call me Miguel.
Right? And before, hold on, how you say this in Spanish?
Yeah.
So that's how your conversations now exist.
Yeah.
Every time you both talk, you say this, and she tell you, or him tell you, oh, all right, I repeat it. No, it's not a Spanish class. Your relationship is not a Spanish class.
That's gonna die out very quickly.
Exactly. So
one person is gonna get annoyed.
And me would get annoyed. I'm sorry. Every 2 words are so. Oh, you say this now, Papa. We need to have a relationship also. I'll teach you, but that can't be all we talk about. That can't be the thing you're most fascinated about me, So try to understand your partner's culture, but don't push it. Tip number 7, make an effort to understand the struggle your partner has. If your partner has to deal with racism, prejudice, and discrimination, and which, let's be honest, pretty much all non-white people do.
Yeah.
That's what research showed me.
Even whites do, depending on where they are. As well.
Depending on which city and all them. Something there. It's like how we say, boy, country people compared to Kingston people, them have the same thing in their culture.
They have their culture,
right?
yeah.
It's really important that you try to understand those struggles. You may not have had to deal with these kinds of problems in your life, but your partner has and still does. So try and understand how it makes them feel being treated differently or being judged so much. For example, if you're a white person but your partner is a person of color, you will never be able to understand the full extent of what your partner goes through, but you can try to understand and support them. Because even interracial couples get bashed,
Yeah.
I've heard that even black people, the same people always say,
race.
yeah.
What? Do you don't love your mother? Isn't your mom black?
And it's gonna come from both sides as well.
It's gonna
Both sides of the
come
fence.
from. I've seen that people would think that it's the white people alone bashing it. No, they said black people. I remember watching a whole. I remember watching a whole documentary, and they were interviewing interracial couples, and some of them said they actually got more fight from black
their
people.
own race, yeah.
More than the Caucasian, so it's something we need to look into. And guess what, guys, everybody, it's their choice. It is not your relationship.
As they say, love has no color.
Exactly. So if you take up yourself and say, all right, I'm going to go with somebody white, pink, blue, it is their business. It is not for you to have feedback on and tell them how to and what they can and can't do.
True.
All right, but in terms of the relationship, make an effort to understand the struggles your partner has. Tip number 8. Respect that your partner might have different priorities compared to you. And this comes back to culture. So we have some cultures who believe in probably having arranged marriages and everything is for the husband. The wife basically is, I mean, I don't want to use it, but it's like the husband's property type of thing. And that's really how it seems.
Yeah, they have cultures.
Right? You have cultures like that. So you need to understand that their priorities may be different from yours. You probably have said, boy, you know, I'm going to make this money and and be the top in my career. And then probably your husband, I said, I just need my wife to be a wife, a housewife. I just need to cook, clean, and bring my kids. I don't want nothing else. You know, that in my culture, that's what wives do. Y'all aren't CEOs. Y'all don't have your own companies, you know. So if I understand that priorities may differ, you may be like, yo, I want to get my degree. And in his culture, there's a whole, is which country that them say women are now banned from universities, from learning overall. Right? So you have to look at that, and bear in mind, as I said, to us we'd be upset and how come, but for them it's normal. Things that we see as normal, they see as strange, and things that we see as strange, exactly, and things that we consider strange for them, it is their everyday life and nothing new. Actually, when you point to them, like, yeah, that different? Oh, you done that? I thought everybody did this. Yeah. That's what we do in Jamaica. We thought everybody, when we thought about the chicken thing, we thought everybody was chicken, because we grew up. Mommy tell you, say, make sure you wash your chicken. Make sure you clean your chicken. Make sure you dish. Make sure if you're not do that, you can't cook the chicken there. We see it as second nature, but to them they're like, oh my God, that's not hygienic. You know? So you have to understand different cultures, right? So respect that your partner may have different priorities to you. In different cultures, there's a different emphasis put on what the priorities of someone's life should be, and you and your partner might have different priorities. As long as you have some kind of common ground when it comes to your future goals as a couple, then your different priorities shouldn't have to cause too many problems in your relationship. You can still compromise and be a great team. For example, if one of you is more focused on work and the other is more focused on having a family, you can work through those different personal priorities to ensure having a happy life. Having a happy life is, as a couple, should be the main priority, right? So it's not about what I want compared to what you want. How can we blend it, right? Fine, you want to work, we're going to do that, but at the same time, we can't have work or take away from the kids. You know, family is very important to me. Whatever it is, those conversations, once again, the uncomfortable conversations are going to be there, and you have to always ensure there's space for it, and that your partner don't feel uncomfortable coming to you with these things. Because if that's the case, then the relationship doomed. That's really the reality. And this happens in all relationships. If you can't talk to your partner, then the relationship doomed. Interracial, regular relationship, whatever relationship, and this is even in familyship and friendship. If you cannot talk to them about really like things that bother you, or you know, you did that yesterday, I'm never too like that, or you said something, or you know, I've been feeling away, whatever it is, if you cannot do that, you don't really do have a relationship, because that is the core of your relationships overall, and that's gonna happen if you see it as long term. Those things gonna happen, because like I've been telling y'all, we're not going to change over time. We're not going to change over time. Not only physically, but also mentally. You're going to learn new things. You're going, as them say, when you get older, your patience run out too as well. So certain things that your partner used to be patient with, probably 10 years from now, they're a no-nonsense person. You don't know. But you're going to have the door open for conversations and compromise, all right? And then the final tip for tonight is understand that you may have a difficult time with each other's families. Dun, dun, dun. And that's already happening in a full culture. That's already been happening in regular relationships, where, you know, a family can make or break the relationship. If the mother don't like you, sometimes I just hit that. You know? Right? So imagine when it's a difference in culture and race, and you have some families, especially some cultures, who are so traditional. If I'm Jewish, my son must marry a Jewish girl.
That's right.
What do you mean a black girl? How dare you carry a, you know, that type of thing. It's a reality. We see it in the movies, but guess what, most time movies are made out of real life stories, right? So you have to understand that the family might not accept you. So it's completely normal to have reservations and not get on perfectly with your partner's family, and that's without the added cultural differences that occur in an interracial relationship. Although you might be lucky to have two families that support you both, you may find that you have a hard time getting past cultural differences, especially if either set of parents are particularly traditional. So especially them that were rooted and grounded.
Push them tradition.
Yeah, man. All them see is everybody them recommend, I know a nice Muslim girl. I know a nice Arab girl.
But she's
I know
Catholic,
a nice Spanish girl. Yeah. Exactly. Everybody ever recommend to you is from the culture. They're not even ever considering, say, a girl from a different country that don't even talk your language as their first language would be somebody you'd consider. And we see it and we hear about it all the time, right? So unfortunately, it's fairly common. Yes, guys, it's actually very common that people in interracial relationships have to deal with difficult in-laws. So if you think it difficult as a regular relationship, it is even rougher in interracial relationship when it comes to the in-laws and not being accepted because they're not the same race. However, as long as you and your partner are strong and dedicated to each other, you will get through it. Right? So sometimes you see where these couples have to like distance themselves, and it's a sad reality. They've had to distance themselves. I've actually seen interviews and they're like, I haven't spoken to my mom in how long because this will make me marry the girl there, or because my dad wanted me to marry so and so, and him disown me. It happens way more than you think. Too. They literally disown, just like the news that we saw earlier, the India with the 21-year-old girl that the parents strangled because they found a pregnancy test. That's one of those cultures that would do that. You strangle your own daughter for that. So you can imagine when you go take somebody from a different culture and
like world,
right? Indian, and then believe in all these things, and you take a black man or you take this Caucasian man or a Spanish man. You can imagine the hatred them probably have for you.
Struggles.
Right? That them willing to cut off their own kids. No. So you have to, if it is that you're going to consider or try this whole interracial relationship thing, guys, enough to consider these factors. We're not saying it's not possible. So hopefully after hearing these tips, you and your partner are more prepared to have a successful partnership with each other, or you'll be more open to interracial relationships. Because you have no people saying never, not in this lifetime will I ever be doing that. Give me a black woman, give me a black man. Things just easier that way.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go with it easier.
Some people just say it easier that way. I can't bother with stress. But you have so many cultures who have done, so many persons. There are a few YouTubers, and when you check it out, there's an African woman with a German man, and they make it work.
Kim, as I say, sometimes, I mean, you can't take up where you don't think you can manage it rough. Because if you think that, if you see that you're going to have problems in those areas, I wouldn't recommend you jump into it. If it's something that you fall into, then that's fine, you fall in love.
If you genuinely love the person,
But you don't have to run it down, people. Take your time, live your life. Who's supposed to come in your life will come in there. If they're the one for you, you pick up certain vibe and then you'll move from there.
And you can make adjustments thereafter if necessary. So although you might think it's daunting and difficult, it's worth it if you love the person that you are with. Overall, what you need to understand is that you have to work hard in any relationship, not just interracial, any, and I think all of us can speak to this by now in life, that you have to work at your relationships are work. Like, that's literally it. It's not something you just get up and you woke up like this.
It's not a fairy tale.
Right? It's not a fairy tale. You actually have to choose to be the best partner to this person and hope that they're making that choice too. That's the thing. You have to hope.
True.
I sometimes tell people relationships are like, and I mean this might be drastic, but it's like diving off a cliff and hope somebody catch you. You don't know if they catch you. That's really it. You don't know if they catch you. Exactly. Because you might be putting your all. You might be putting your all out there, go all out and do all these things, and you don't know if it's gonna be reciprocated. You don't know if it's gonna be appreciated. You don't know. So I always tell people that's how I see relationships. You basically just take a leap off one cliff and hope the person are gonna catch you and meet you halfway or something. That's the best thing that's how I imagine it, literally. So when I decide I'm gonna try something, that's literally how I say to myself, Kim, alright, you like this person enough? Alright, what's I gonna say? Just hope for the best. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know. But it might be good for a while and eventually become the worst thing. I don't know. But guess what? Them always say it's worth the risk. It's better to have loved than to never have loved at all. So as long as you're in love with the person you're with, you can make it work. Just remember, clear and honest communication is the key to making all relationships work. Well, Carter Shakespeare said relationship a master's.
Yeah, true.
More than that, a PhD, whichever level above PhD.
Yeah.
It is work. It is not something. You see how people. You ever talked? I think we need to try find
Every
a couple.
year the syllabus change.
No, I think we need to try find a couple. I remember it wasn't a planned thing. Talking to a couple that was together for like 30 or 40 odd years.
I think the couple that we had, they were like 20 years.
Yeah, but like I'd love to talk to a couple and it must be very honest, because I remember the conversation I had was an ex of mine, and he and I were talking to his brethren's parents, and they were together for like 40 odd years, and he said, yo, she left me about 3 times.
See,
and rightfully so.
We want to find one with boy them never
we're gonna be honest. No, we're not gonna say even that, but even be honest. No, like he's like, yo, I messed up.
Never decide to leave, because that's another big thing.
That's another thing, because people think it's natural to
sometimes people be left and come back. That's good that they come back, but sometimes we need to find why, how we can stick to, if we're gonna be together, and we are the ones to be together, we don't need to left and come back.
But you see, that's the thing. I want two perspectives, because what I admired about that was that they were honest enough to say, boy, the 40 years never easy. It never easy. Because people think so when they say, oh, it's a lifetime, I see my life with you, it's gonna be a bed of roses. Chances are it's not gonna be a bed of roses. And when they were very honest about the things that they went through and stuff, and somehow they made it work, 40 years later them still married, I was in awe of them, because they basically were just very real with it. Because most people, when they hear, 50 years we've been together, everybody imagine, they're so great, 50 years being married, but you don't know the 50 years are probably stress that was going on. But they chose to stay together, and that's what I want. I think we need to get a couple just been married long enough, and hopefully they're willing to just be open and be like, yo, there were days when I said,
what is me get myself in?
No, but then, this is what kept me, or I know I met the voice, or her core, or his core. Who they are at the core is what I'm saying. No, this is just a season and it's gonna work, and I love for that. God no.
For real.
I work on that.
Good.
So if you're a couple out there and you're interested to talk the Ting them with Kim, and basically met the younger generation or the unmarried or the single, so I'm a big believer in that. Right? We're actually gonna have probably 2 weeks from now someone who is much older, in her 80s, and she's gonna come share some wisdom with the youth, and I'm excited to have that conversation, because I've been wanting something like that. I've been wanting like a panel of older people, 60, 70, 80, and talk the things then, because there's things we need to learn, and we need to try to not make the same mistakes, and that's really what I think the older generation is for. But then we live in this world now that nobody can tell what to do. My life, how dare you tell me?
That's it. Everybody
do them own thing now, and we don't think nobody can tell we nothing.
As a problem,
a challenge and problem.
Somebody go against them.
These older people in the workplace, them just so old fashioned. But sometimes old fashioned things work. You don't need to have a new fashion. Not gonna say we can't adjust, but sometimes the old fashioned, old school thing is the way to go. So I've been wanting to have this conversation. I'm looking forward to that. But guys, that is it for Talk the Ting with Kim. Yes. So never if I ask you, have you ever tried an interracial relationship, and what's your opinion on interracial relationships?
For me, I've never tried it. Since I've grown a bit older, I've somewhat considered it.
But before, you never considered it when you were younger?
Yeah, before I never really considered it. I just say, find me a nice Jamaican queen and so on and so forth. But as I grew up, I say, hey, if God wants it, then I am not really opposed to it, but I'll have to put a lot of consideration into it before, because trust me, it's challenges and the whole racism and the differences, compromise, as you said, and stuff like that. And but in general though, if you love someone, you care for them, they're human beings, so it doesn't matter if they're Caucasian, Asian or what have you. So if you love the person,
love is love,
and you generally want to you want better for yourself and better for that person, so you can go along with it, and as you say, have open discussions, especially seeing that speaking from an heterosexual point of view, the possibility that children may come in the picture. So before you guys even, you know, have a child, start to have certain discussions so that, you know, the kid can be compatible. Because oftentimes you see the kids like, hey, they're calling me half-breed and this and that.
That's true.
You know, nobody loves me, identity issues and stuff like that. So having those type of discussions, you know, getting to know the family before jumping and say, hey, we're gonna get married and stuff like that. So if it's for you, then go for it. Yeah.
And there goes Xavier with the gems. I love it. So things to consider, guys. Carty said, check the WhatsApp before we close. Well, Carty, we're gonna have to announce the winner on the page because we're just about out of time. But guys, as I said, ensure you are following Funtastic 93 FM. We have some giveaways that are gonna be posted probably between tonight or tomorrow, and I'm telling you, y'all gonna want to win these giveaways that we have right in time for Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna start work on the creativity, start work on the planning. Me not telling nothing but the details, just start work on the creativity. That's all me telling you. All right, so guys, have a good weekend, be safe. Una buying a Valentine gift yet, and I can buy it over the weekend. And if you have a Valentine, guys, I don't want nobody going to know sadness this next week Tuesday.
Come on, celebrate single life.
I guess there's a season for everything. And I always think when you're single is the best time because you get to know yourself more. You learn a lot more about yourself. So guys, as Carter said, very interesting session. Thank you.
And remember, guys, you can check out the movie. It's called Jungle Fever, starring Wesley Snipes.
Check it out.
Guys, have a fantastic weekend. Valentine's Day when it comes. Congratulations to our winners and all our participants in the show today. Big up to Shanice as well, who has been keeping us active on the WhatsApp line and also with the big tune. People, we're gonna go out with this one. Have a fantastic weekend.
Boy, don't got nobody. We don't start getting me up, I feel spin, don't get love,